Hello everyone, welcome to Pabbly. So in this video we are going to learn how to enroll leads in active campaign from Google Form submission. So I run a business where I want to create new contact in active campaign for the new Google Form submission. So here my objective is, as soon as I receive a new lead from my Google Form, I am going to create a contact in active campaign. So for building this integration, I am going to use an amazing automation tool, that is Pabbly Connect. So if you also want to build this automation, then let me take you towards my screen. Welcome to my screen. So in this video we are going to learn how to add Google Form responses to the active campaign as a new contact. So right before you on my screen you can see I have integrated two applications, that is Google Forms and Active Campaign. Now as soon as I will receive a new lead over my Google Form, I am going to create a contact in Active Campaign, and I have built in this integration by using an amazing automation tool, that is Pabbly Connect. So now I am going to show you how you can build this automation for your own business. But before that I am going to show the real working of this automation. So for testing this automation, let's move on to my Google Form with me. So here you can see this is my Google Form which I have created, named as lead form. Now I am going to fill this form providing my first name as Smart, last name as user, email as smartuser@pabblytutor.com, and my phone number also. Now we simply have to click over this submit button, and here you can see our form has been successfully submitted. Now let's move on to my active campaign to check whether a contact is created over there or not with the same details. So here you can see I have already logged in my active campaign account where I am on this page, that is contacts, and here you can see I am successfully receiving the lead which I have recently entered over my Google Form, having the name Smart User, email smartuser@pabblytutor.com, and the phone number also. So here you can see the automation which I have built in is successfully working. And now I am going to show you how you can build this amazing automation for your own business from scratch. So for creating this automation you just have to access Pabbly Connect, and for accessing the Pabbly Connect you just have to type its URL over the new tab, that is pabbly.com/connect, and once you will enter the URL you will be getting the landing page of Pabbly. And here you can see we are getting two options, that is sign in and sign up free. So if you are a new user you can simply click over this sign up free, but if you are an existing user you can simply click over this sign in. And if you sign up your account for free over the Pabbly Connect, you get 100 free tasks every month for practicing Pabbly Connect. Now before building this automation I am going to tell you about Pabbly Community. So here you can see this is the page of Pabbly Community where automation users, marketers, and business owners gather to share their ideas, ask questions, and get relevant updates regarding using the Pabbly applications. So you can also join Pabbly Community now and grow your business with us. And if you wish to join the Pabbly Community, you can find link in the description given below. Now let's move on to my Pabbly Connect again, and here I am going to simply click over the sign in, and as you will finish your sign up you will be getting this all Pabbly apps page where you can see the products provided by Pabbly. And as we are going to integrate some applications, we will be using this app, that is Pabbly Connect, which can integrate different applications and start automating your work. So for accessing it we simply have to click over this access now button, and we will be landed to the dashboard page of Pabbly Connect, which can be seen here. And on this dashboard page you can see these are the folders I have created, and inside these folders I have created my workflows by integrating many applications. So if you also want to create your own folder, you simply have to click over this create a new folder button, and here you will be getting the dialog box where you have to provide the folder name, and if you want you can select the parent folder as well. And afterwards you simply have to click over this create button and your folder will be created. And now I am going to create a workflow. So for that you simply have to click over this create workflow button, and here you will be getting this option for selecting the workflow builder. So here we are getting two workflow builder, that is beta, which is modern, faster, and more flexible, and another workflow builder we are getting is classic, which will provide you stable and familiar approach. So here I am going to use this newly launched workflow builder beta. So for that you simply have to click over this select button, and here you will be getting the dialog box where you have to provide the workflow name. So now I am going to provide a name to my workflow here. So here I am providing it the name create contact in active campaign for Google Form leads, and afterwards I am going to select my folder as automation. Now we simply have to click over this create button, and here you can see we are receiving this workflow page where we are getting the option for adding the trigger. So now you might be wondering what is this trigger? So trigger is our first application or the application which is going to initiate a workflow. So in this case, I want to initiate my workflow as soon as I receive a new lead over my Google Forms. So here I am going to select my trigger app as Google Forms. So for that, you simply have to click over this add trigger button and you will be landed to this trigger setup page where I am going to select my trigger app as Google Form. So I am going to search for it. So here you can see I am getting my application, so I am going to select it, and afterwards I am going to select my app event as new response received. Now we simply have to click over this connect button and here you can see we are receiving this webhook URL with the steps for pasting this webhook URL. So this webhook URL is going to act as a bridge between Google Forms and Pabbly Connect. So now let's copy this webhook URL and let's paste it over the Google Form for building the connection. So here I'm going to copy it, and now let's move on to my form which I have created. So here you can see this is the form which I have created named as lead form. Now we simply have to go to responses, and here you can see we are getting this option that is view in sheets. So you just have to select it and you will be landed to the sheets where our lead form responses will be saved, and this Google Sheet is the native integration of Google Form. So for pasting this webhook URL, you just have to go to extensions, and here you can see we are getting the option for add-ons. So you just have to go to add-ons and here you have to select get add-ons, and you will be landed to the Google Workspace Marketplace where you have to search for the app that is Pabbly Connect Webhook. So now I'm going to type it, and here you can see I'm getting this app that is Pabbly Connect Webhook, which can be seen here, and this app is already installed in my account. So firstly you have to install it, and afterwards again you have to go to extensions, and here you can see we are getting this app. So on this Pabbly Connect Webhooks, you just have to go to initial setup and you will be getting the initial setup dialog box which can be seen here. And in this initial setup dialog box, it is asking me to enter the webhook URL and select the trigger column. So here I'm going to enter my webhook URL which I have recently received from my Pabbly Connect, which I have pasted, and afterwards it is asking me to select the trigger column. So trigger column is basically our last data column of the Google Sheet. So as I want to receive all the data of this Google Sheet, I will be entering my last data column, that is E. So here I'm going to enter my trigger column as E. Now we simply have to click over this submit button, and here you can see we are receiving this message which says setup configured successfully, means we have successfully built in the connection. Now let's move on to my Pabbly Connect, and here you can see it is waiting for the webhook response. So for providing the webhook response, we have to do the test submission, and for doing the test submission we have to fill our Google form. So for that, let's move on to my Google form. So here you can see I'm landed to my Google form where I'm going to fill this form again. So here I have filled this form providing first name testing, last name user, email testing user@pabblytuts.com, and the phone number. Now we simply have to click over the submit button, and here you can see our form has been successfully submitted. Now let's move on to my Google Sheet for sending the test data. So here you can see in my Google Sheet I'm getting this option for send test. So you just have to select it, and here you can see we are getting this message which says test data sent successfully, means we have successfully submitted our response. Now let's move on to my Pabbly Connect to check whether we are receiving the response over there or not. So here you can see in my Pabbly Connect I am successfully receiving this response, that is response A, with all the fields which I have recently entered over my Google form. So here you can see we have successfully set up our trigger app. But now let's move on to my Google Sheet for enabling send on event, and by the help of this send on event we don't have to send our test data again and again. The test data will be sent automatically as the new response will be arrived by enabling it. So I'm going to just select it, and here my send on event will be enabled. Now let's move on to my Pabbly Connect again, and here I'm going to add action step, and you can add many action steps according to your workflow, but you can have only one trigger app. Now for that you simply have to click over this add new action step button, and you will be landed to this action setup page where I'm going to search for the active campaign, as I'm going to create a contact over there. So here you can see I'm getting this application, so I'm going to select it, and afterwards I'm going to select my app event as create a contact. Now we simply have to click over this connect button, and here you can see we are landed to this connection page where if you want to use your existing connection you can select it, that is select existing connection, and if you want to build a new connection you can simply use this, that is add new connection. And here you can see we are getting the connection name, and afterwards we are getting some of the field, that is URL and the API key. So for getting this URL and the API key you can take the help of this help desk, but now I'm going to show you how you can get this URL and this API key. So for getting these, let's move on to my active campaign account with me. So here you can see I'm landed to my account, and on this page we are getting the option for settings which you have to select, and you will be landed to this settings page where on the sidebar bar, you can see the option of developer, which you have to select, and you will be landed to this developer page where we are getting the URL and the key. So now let's copy this URL, and now let's move on to our Pabbly Connect. And here I'm going to paste this URL over here, but in my help text it is written that if your URL is this, then provide only this part. Means we have to provide only this part of our URL. So here I'm going to remove this HTTPS from here, and here we are done with our URL. Now afterwards it is asking me to enter my API keys. So for getting it, let's move on to ActiveCampaign, and here you can see I'm getting my key. So now let's copy this API key and let's move on to Pabbly Connect again, and here I'm going to paste this API key. Now we simply have to click over this save button, and here you can see our connection has been successfully built in, and we are getting some of the field. So the first field we are getting is for entering the email. So now you might be thinking that I am going to enter it manually, but no, I am going to map all these data. Now you might be wondering, what is this mapping? So mapping is basically inserting the data from the previous step so that you don't have to enter your values again and again, as mapping makes the field dynamic, and this is the real work of automation. So here I am going to map all these fields from the response which I am receiving from my Google form, as that is my previous step. And the process of mapping is simple. You simply have to select the field which you want to map, and afterwards from here you have to select the application where you are getting the data. So here I am going to select it, and afterwards I am going to map my email. So here you can see I am getting my email which I have mapped, and afterwards I am going to map my first name which can be seen here, and afterwards I am going to map my last name as well. So here you can see I am getting my last name, so I am going to map it, and the next I am going to map my phone number also. So here I am going to map the phone number as well. So here I have mapped my all necessary fields, and these fields are dynamic, means these are going to change with every new responses so that you don't have to enter your values manually, and these fields will be replaced as the new response will be arrived in your Google form, and this doesn't need any human intervention. So as we are done with our mapping, now we simply have to click over the save and send test request, and here you can see we are receiving a positive response which demonstrates that we might have built in the connection. So for testing this, let's move on to our ActiveCampaign account again. So in my ActiveCampaign account, I am landed to this page that is contacts, where I am successfully receiving the lead which I have recently entered over my Google form and mapped over our Pabbly Connect, named as testing user and email as testinguser@pabblytudes.com, and the phone number also. So here you can observe that how easily I have built in this automation by using an amazing tool that is Pabbly Connect. So you can also build this automation for your own business. So what are you waiting for? Start using Pabbly Connect now, and stay tuned to our YouTube channel for learning more about Pabbly and creating many more amazing automations and integrations like this. And if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe our channel, and if you want to practice this workflow, you can find its link in the description given below. And if you have any doubt, you can post it over the comment section. So thank you for watching this video. Not only this automation, you can build many more integrations like this by just using Pabbly Connect. So if you have any doubt, you can mail us at support@pabbly.com, and if you have any queries, you can post it over the forums.pabbly.com. and if you have any pricing related issue, then you can visit the URL given over here. So start using Pabbly Connect for free now.